This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a very cloudy Djuma. We've got a herd of Impala here on quarantine. So we've started our morning. Good morning. My name's John T. You got Darren on the camera, and we're going to be taking you around Djuma this morning. Can you believe, up here on quarantine? This is where Dark Mane, that male lion, was lying last night, where Morgan predicted his roaring to a T. Unbelievable. But we've got Ali with us on Djuma this morning. I think she's going to go see if she can actually find that male lion again. We've got JP at Pridelands and Dyke at Ngala. Our plan is we're going to go and have a look. There was someone, Tristan was coming back from drive last night and he spotted a leopard. So he's given us where he last saw it. So we'll go see if we can find any tracks and find out who that was. And throughout the morning, please send us in your questions and comments. Use the hashtag WildEarth on Twitter, at FC on YouTube. And if you're under the age of 18, you can pop us a mail on kids' questions at wildearth.tv. You can register on the WildEarth website, head over to the live safari page, and there you can submit your questions. I'm so sad it's cloudy. It was crystal clear last night when we drove off of quarantine. And this morning, cloudy. I didn't hear this morning, but Darren said he could hear that lion still busy roaring away. It's nice to be still. For a little bit I can hear a squirrel shouting on the sort of southwestern parts of quarantine. But that's where Ali's driven, so maybe she's got something there. Oh, so good. Saturday is rugby day, and the Springboks are playing rugby today, which is so exciting. A cat-filled Saturday. That would be superb. Yeah, I really want to try and have a really good leopard sighting. That is, I think, what we'd love to do.
Morning, all station. Mobile production. Good morning, update.
So that's the radio blaring off. I'm going to just find out where some of the other vehicles are going this morning. And while I do that, you're going to have a look at the weather at the different locations this morning.
It is a very cold morning today indeed. We are, as Jonty mentioned, trying to follow up on Dark Mane, who was the male lion that was roaring all around the dam cam last night. So hopefully we'll be able to find his tracks, which we've just done, going the wrong way. My name is Ali, and on camera with me today is Morgan. And we are having to turn around now because he's going the other way. Alrighty, let's just go around then. Hopefully... We were giggling a little bit this morning, but hopefully Jonty's skills of tracking Impala in quarantine are as good for tracking Leopard. And he'll be able to find, as we were saying, the unicorn leopard that we were sent off yesterday to find, but that apparently was never there. So, fingers crossed we'll come across them. Just want to see where the tracks for this lion go. Hopefully he's not sleeping behind this bush and I'll won't have to pull a Steve. But if you see... Okay. I don't know, Morgan, if you can show them here. Would this one work? So just trying to show you guys. Here's the track for the male lion. Quite a big one, heading in that direction, all the way down towards Treehouse Dam. So, that's where we're gonna go. Seems like this is where he was moving yesterday. Sorry. And those are quite nice and fresh, so we shall see. We shall see. Kind of hoped that he was gonna go on the dam wall or something. Where do you go? Alrighty, we're gonna carry on our search for this male lion, but we'll send you guys across to Ngala in the meantime, where Doug would like to say good morning.
Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome to your African wildlife safari. My name is Dyke Koza and Johan behind me on the camera. So this morning we're going to be looking for lions. As you see, if you look in front of us here, there's a nice open clearings of which normally there will be lots of prey species like Impala, zebra, Wildebeest. This is the sort of area that they would like to spend the night because it's quite easy for them to see the predator sneaking on them, and it's easy for them to run very fast if they want to escape the predator. But looks like none of those species here at the moment, of which it seems like maybe the lions or one of the predators walked past here during the night and spook whoever wanted to rest in this area. So we're just gonna carry on down this beautiful road through this beautiful vegetation and see if we can pick up any fresh signs of any predator that's been here, because normally you'll come across Wildebeest, Impala around here, but nothing here. So let's carry on down this road and see if we can pick up any fresh signs of any predator that's been through this area. So beautiful morning, overcast weather, and then we're hoping that if the predator's hungry, haven't come up with anything last night, they might be still trying, because even though lions, leopards are nocturnal hunters, they may still try hunt during this time of the day if it's overcast like this. Let's hope to come up with something. So while we trying to see if we can find any fresh signs of any predator here, we'll go over to JP and say good morning to JP.
Good morning and welcome to WildEarth. We're live at Eco Training Pridelands and we're starting our walk from Leopard Koppie this morning. As normal, we like to position ourselves in an elevated position and scan the surrounding landscape, as well as listen to the different calls and sounds that there is to determine what we can potentially go and follow up on. So my name is JP Leroux, and behind the camera we've got Craig. So our plan for this morning is to start walking on the ridges and hopefully find some klipspringer. And then from there we'll head down to see if we can find some elephant and possibly some giraffe as well. The weather over here is nice and cool, which makes it perfect for bushwalk and for safaris in general. With weather like this, we find that there's an extended activity period for most animals. Especially in the summer months when it's a nice cool morning, we see that prolonged activity period, just because it's so much cooler and it doesn't sap the animals of all their energy, as that a typical warm day will do. If you have a very warm start to the morning, animal activity always tends to fall flat very rapidly, especially so with big cats. We also hear at this time over here that there's more and more birds that are starting to call as spring has already sprung on us. And with the cool air and conditions that we're experiencing this morning, they'll most likely call for longer. Because with cool air, it's stable, the call can actually travel much further. And that's one of the main reasons why we have such a great number of calls in the early part of the morning. We're going to stand around here a little bit longer and see what we can find. And then from there on, head off on our walk. Let's go and see what the others are up to.
Oh, we're just enjoying the sunrise breaking through the clouds on the horizon there. There were reports that there were baboons alarm calling around Djuma Dam. There had been a lion roaring earlier, so I'm just going to sit quietly, just enjoy the colors of the sunrise and listen to the morning chorus.
We've been following the tracks going all the way south on Twin Dams, and one of the other guides of Djuma, Mike, said he heard him roar about 30 minutes ago or so towards the southern boundary. So we're sort of heading that way in general just to see if we can catch him before he crosses, although he hasn't crossed in a while, so it'll be interesting to see if he does. But we're kind of making our way in that area. Hopefully we'll be able to find him somewhere. For now, we just have the tracks of him just steadily going in that general direction. So that's where we've been going. See if maybe we can find him anywhere around there. Well, there are no trucks right here on the road. He could have cut across the block. So I'm gonna carry on going down there, because the thing is, animals don't have to use the roads, although I think those are his tracks there. Animals don't have to use the roads to get from A to B. A lot of the time they're a game path that cuts straight from one road to the next, and when the road bends, they just go in a straight line and use their own road, which is quite convenient for them. Seems like we've got some spider web in our faces early in the morning. It was a track, but it pointed towards another road. Just want to double check. It is a lion truck, and it's still going straight ahead. Whew. Darkmane, don't leave us. Stay. Sammy, well, he was seen roaring about 30 minutes ago, so there's a good chance that he's still active. Weather is very cool, so I'm kind of hoping that if we do get to see him, he'll be either moving or at least roaring. He won't be active for too long, though, if he's been moving throughout the night. And as we know, because of his injury, he's a little bit more limited in the movements that he does, or he doesn't go as far as some other lions would, especially male lions that seem to cover great distances overnight. But I'm kind of hoping he'll be doing stuff, especially if we catch him early in the morning. But it's a guess. Yesterday morning he was seen early and he was found mostly because of his roaring. So I'm kind of hoping that he'll give us a roar as we start getting closer to the bottom of the property. Seems like Dark and Ngala is also tracking, so let's head across to him and find out what he's looking for.
Yeah, I'm still having a look around, but haven't come across any fresh signs of any lions. But we're just gonna keep going down this road. As you can see, this beautiful vegetation, also green bushes where the lions can maybe lie down to rest as the day goes on. But this is time that these animals can be still moving, try catch something, because it's still cool enough for them to do that. And let's hope to find some fresh tracks, and then we can follow up on those. Maybe those animals have hunted last night. If we really lucky, we might end up coming across them at the carcass anyway. We're just gonna spend the next half an hour or so, and then if we don't have any luck finding the lions, we might change the plan and try look for something else. But yeah, I'm hoping to find the lions this morning, especially the 3 sub-adult males that are in the reserve, including the white one, which we haven't seen them. And I'd like to know what happened to them for the last couple of days. As they're reaching maturity now, they might sooner leave the area and go establish their own territory. Let's hope to find either them or the whole Birmingham Pride feeding off something. Yeah, so I'm definitely hoping that there will be tracks that we can look up to. Like I always say, you never know. You can be surprised by anything. This morning the plan is to look for lions. We might end up finding a leopard, of which it will be really nice to see, because we don't see those leopards very often around here. A cheetah will be an extra bonus, as we don't get to see one often, even though they do come in and out from Kruger once in a while, of which they do come in the reserve. Yeah, so we're just gonna look around and circle this block and see if these lions came out of one of these areas onto the road. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to say. The last time I saw them was maybe 5-6 days ago. It was only 9 of them. Yeah, like they quite widespread, more especially with the 2 roast males trying to chase the 3 sub-adult males. And I haven't seen the white one recently. That's what I'm hoping to see. Yeah, the one young white male lion, I saw him recently 4-5 days ago, but I haven't seen the white ones. Yeah, it will be really nice to see all of them together again. Yeah, that's my question, as I always ask myself, are they ever going to rejoin as the whole pride? So that's why I'm trying to see if I can find them this morning and see who is there and tell how many of those animals are in the pride together now. So yeah, let's carry on and hope to find these animals this morning. So it will be really interesting for all of us to know how many members of the Birmingham Pride that are still together. Maybe the Ross males have joined them, because since we saw them 3 nights ago, they were not out yesterday morning. So I'm hoping to find Birmingham Pride this morning with all the Birmingham cubs, and including the white ones, of which it will be really nice to see. So I'm hoping to find something really interesting, maybe animals at the carcass this morning. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Move down towards one of the Waterhole, see if the animals have been there drinking maybe last night, because that's what they'll do sometimes. If they have something really big in one of these blocks, at the end one of the animals might end up going to look for water. So it will be a very good place to start in the morning like this, just to check around the water to see if there's any of those animals that came over, and then we can start trekking from there and see. Even if it was one animal that came to drink, that makes sense, because you can start following the one animal and those tracks might lead you to the rest of the pride. Yeah, so let's hope for some luck this morning. Maybe these lions are somewhere feeding off something, maybe happen to find them. So yeah, I'm just gonna carry on down and go over to Jonty and wish him luck to find something there for us that we can have a look at.
Yeah, Doc, I'm trying to track. I need some of your skills. So we found the place where I'm assuming the guys who saw them were, because found a pair of sunglasses. But it's tricky. It's a very hard section of the road. I'm just coming to check on this one in front of the car to see if there's some more. Well, to see if there's any sign of where this cat has gone. It was a bit of a... We just got told this was the area. We don't know if it came from the north or if it was going north. And now you've got to be like... Now I've got to be like a Jedi warrior to try and find the tracks, which I'm not finding any, but that's fine. Let's get on. We'll go sort of drive a loop down this fire break and go back along the main road. That main road's got a good section where we might find some tracks. Because we drove this road that we're on is called Aubrey's, and the whole way along that road I didn't see any tracks, and it's quite a soft sandy road. Now I can see where they were driving around here, so it must have been here somewhere. It is safe. I have had to go through quite a bit of training. So, I mean, I wouldn't suggest that if you just arrive in the bush that you just wander around willy-nilly. You've got to be really vigilant. So, before I got off and walked there, Darren and I had been parked for quite a while, looked around, make sure there was nothing lying in this open area, and luckily you can see it's quite open here. And then once we were sure that there was nothing lying there, then I got off to go and look for the tracks. Oh, those are hyena tracks. Yeah, but it's very difficult. I don't know if the camera would even pick up on these tracks at the moment. Very, very fine on the road. So yeah, it is quite safe. There's trackers and people who've been living out here for years, who live sort of close by with a lot of these animals. And by being careful, respectful, and just being vigilant, you are able to move around out here. I'll tell you what I'm really excited for is for an update one of these days where we get told there's a track or a leopard or somewhere and we can actually find that point to start. So we're just going to do the loop back around to see if there's any more tracks here. See one?
My name is Nomfundo Ndlovu and I'm the Senior Project Manager for the WISA Schools and Youth Unit. I'm a qualified horticulturalist. I'm particularly passionate about supporting schools towards working through their sustainability journey and towards food sovereignty throughout food gardening projects. A typical day in my work involves me overseeing our national projects and creating an enabling environment for schools to thrive and succeed in working towards self-reliance and sustainability, and really ensuring that no school gets left behind.
Being nominated to the top 5 and finally being here, for me it's an achievement. Tracks, I believe I did quite well, and the walk, and sometimes you often drag their feet forward. The storytelling as well, so yeah, I think that's where I see my strongest point. And then that was the opportunity of the scraping. I say the bedding and the call, definitely for me, it was quite a big challenge. Guiding is not all about the award that we have had, but sharing the experience and continue to do what we have passion and love.
Something very, very interesting. I didn't plan this, but this is a scene rarely seen. This is what we call a journey of giraffe. So beautiful.
Tune into WildEarth every single day. It's in your nature.
Welcome back on Bushwalk. At the moment we are looking at a pair of black-collared barbets. If we look closer, you'll notice that they've got an all-red head and a black collar on the chest, hence the name black-collared barbet. A little earlier, they were actually performing a duet between the pair, and these synchronized duets that they perform is an aid of creating a strengthening of a pair. So I hope that they're going to start calling again. The typical call that you will normally hear them is... And if you like donkey bridges, we generally say it sounds like if I say two puddly, two puddly, two puddly, two puddly, We also get two other common species of barbets in the area. The other one is crested, which is one of the largest barbet species in Southern Africa. And it also has quite a unique call. It's very ventriloquial. It almost sounds like something like... but for a prolonged period of time. The third barbet species which we have over here is known as acacia pied barbet. And its call goes... which is one of the calls. The other one sounds like it almost says pay, pay, pay. So I create these little mnemonics or donkey bridges, and that's the way that I remind myself how a call sounds. But it also takes a little bit of practice being out there in the field on a regular basis to remind and get used to calls and to learn calls. Quite often we see a lot of people would like to try and learn calls from listening to audio. It is not as effective as spending time in the field birding. What I do like about the barbets is that all of them have the ability to create their own nest holes. So they can excavate holes in the side of a dead tree by pecking away at the wood. We also find that they're also responsible for distributing the seeds of the mistletoes. And by feeding on the fruits of the mistletoes, they will go from tree to tree and they'll try and rub that sticky fruit off the side of their bill. And that little mistletoe fruit or seed will then start germinating on the branch and put its little root system into the tree and utilize the nutrients and minerals from the inner bark. However, they don't parasitize a tree in total, they only partially parasitize a tree. As they've got green leaves, they can still photosynthesize and produce their own food. Good morning, leopard lover, and welcome to the show. And the reason why birds will only start mating once the rain has come is a requirement is food. And generally the first rains is what's going to provide that necessary food for them. Quite a few different species of birds would also need insects, and insects generally only come out once the first rains have come. We also find that in some cases with most grain-eating as well as nectar-feeding birds, that will actually have to feed spiders or insects to their young to support them in terms of protein which they need for growth. However, the adult is pretty happy to utilize carbohydrates. One of the things that I also find particularly interesting is that once the rains has come and they start nesting, it takes several days to build a nest. Good morning, Alison, and welcome to the show. It's years of obsessive dedication, as well as just for the love and passion of birds. And I used to walk around in the bush, and then I would imitate the bird calls. In the days when I started birding, there was no audio cassettes and things that I could use to learn those things. And by imitating them, I eventually managed to learn to whistle and remember the call itself. It seems that our barbets might start up again and often face one another when they want to start performing that duet. We're going to stay around here a little bit longer and see what our barbets get up to, but in the meanwhile we would like to show you a little clip on the fireside chat that's going to come up on the 12th of September.
While the African bush is desperate for rain, spring is certainly in the air. Fresh green leaves are sprouting, flowers are adding color to the landscape, and many animals are preparing for the birth of their young. At the moment, large concentrations of wildlife can be found at waterholes, which are the lifeline for the animals. But soon the rains will arrive, and the bush will transform overnight. Seasonal rivers will start to flow, the bush will be filled with baby animals, and it will become a time of plenty. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer and join Ali and Jonty for a special Spring Has Sprung fireside chat on the 12th of September, straight after the Sunset Safari. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
Well, it seems like maybe our search is not going to yield any results today. we've come all the way down to Gowrie Main, looking for dark mane, but at this stage it just seems that he's crossed onto Baboon Pan, which is a pan on Little Gowrie. A bit unfortunate for us because that's a property that we cannot go into. I just want to double check because the guys haven't found him yet, but they said that they had tracks for him. Or not tracks, they had a lion roaring in that area. Just waiting for a car to go by. So I suspect that he's gone all the way down here, and there were tracks yesterday for a female as well moving into Little Gowrie. We thought perhaps in the direction of where that younger lioness that was injured was. So I just want to double check the road because Tristan and Mike were on here and we couldn't see where he crossed either. But the thing is, this being the main road, is that the track? It happens that sometimes they'll cross over and then many people will drive over the tracks, which is unfortunate. I don't think these are the tracks that I'm looking for. So we've just come to do a second loop around just to try and see if actually if he crossed around here. Yes, there are lion tracks right there. Alrighty. Okay. Well, seems like not today. Not this morning anyway with dark mane. Unfortunately, everything points to him just crossing this way, which is not ideal. But maybe he'll come back. You never know. And I wonder what business he's looking for in Little Gowrie. Should have stayed at Djuma where we wanted to see him. But luck of the draw. We had him yesterday the whole day, so I suppose we will have to share him with other properties as well. Just want to double check just in case he didn't sort of come back or did a funny loop around. Am I in the Eastern Channel? I am. I didn't see anything at Baboon Pan. Johnny, he was on the kill with the Pride a couple of days ago, but in Manyeletisa, that's why we couldn't see it. So yeah, definitely, the Pride will share the kill with him as they have now bonded and he's the dominant male over that Pride. Now, with the Nkahuma Pride, where his other two brothers are, I'm not sure it would be the same affair as they haven't been seen together for quite a while. But in general, yes, the prides will share the food with the males, or more so, the males will make the prides share the food with them. They normally don't give them much of a chance. Being bigger than most of the females, they are quite imposing and they pretty much tell them that they're going to be sharing the meal. There's nothing around here. Let's see. I'm not convinced about this tracks crossing out, but everything points to them crossing out. I just can't find the one moving in there. Let's do a bit of a little loop around. Maybe there will be something here that we haven't seen. But I think dark mane won't be with us today. Lucky you. Well, dominance is not passed from generation to generation in male lions, so it would be more of an accident if the younger males were to become dominant. So what sometimes happens, or what normally happens, is that the young males get pushed away from the pride by the mothers and the dominant male, because they are seen as competition for mating rights. So this is why they disperse into different areas and then they establish themselves in other parts away from where they were born. It's also a way of preventing inbreeding in between lions. Now, if dark mane were to die and these guys, or the dominant males, or the younger males, there's something just not right with this car. and the dominant and the younger boys were to try to establish themselves as dominants, chances are that they would also try their luck and maybe go fighting with some of the other males that are around here. So the dominant or the younger males of the Talamati Pride, for example, they would have to establish themselves towards the other two Avokas, the S8 male and the Kruger males. So if they manage to do that, then they will certainly stay around here, and they are known to mate with their mothers, sisters, aunts, everything else. But apparently it only becomes a problem in terms of genetics if it's the 4th generation of inbreeding. So they will likely not stay around the area. Normally what happens is the males will push them away, they'll establish themselves somewhere else, new males will come into the area, and so forth. With dark mane, it's been a strange one. Because of his limp, he hasn't been moving as much. He hasn't been seen with his other two brothers for a while. He's been hanging out mostly with the Talamati Pride, and he seems to have become quite friendly with some of the youngsters. So it could be that he might form a coalition with some of the younger males and not chase them away. It would be a smart move for him. But in general, in normal stages, then no, the younger males don't inherit the dominant status from their parents. They move off into another area. Let's just see, I want to hear if they find those lions. Although I'm pretty sure we've got nothing else to look for over here. Bye, dark mane. Alrighty, I think we're gonna move off, try our luck in a different area. What we were looking for is no longer here.
Welcome back on Bushwalk. We're at the moment looking at some damage that an elephant has created on a knob fawn. And what this elephant was after was the inner bark of this tree, where all the nutrients and minerals is. And we generally see that they target the inner bark of the knob fawns in early spring, as it's one of the first plants that actually will start flowering and start pushing nutrients to the top of a tree so that they can produce that flower. What I do find quite fascinating about elephants is that they're actually left or right tusk orientated. And those tusks are kept sharp, and they are used as a chisel to rip off the bark so that they can get to the inner bark of the tree. They sometimes use it for digging, but some of the other purposes for tusks as defensive weapons against potential predators. But in the case of bulls, they will also use these tusks as weapons against one another. What I also find particularly fascinating about tusks is that young individuals between the age of 20 and 45 tend to break their tusks quite often, so that they can keep them sharp as weapons. However, older bulls, which go less and less into must, which is a breeding condition where their testosterone levels will increase by 6-fold, which makes them incredibly unpredictable and aggressive, they will rapidly start growing those tusks. And it's only in the last 20 or so odd years of your elephant's life which you see exceptionally large tusks on them. Just an interesting fact or two about tusk sizes. Some of the largest tusks from Southern African region is roughly 88 kilograms in weight, while some of the largest tusks from East Africa used to weigh in 102 kilograms in weight. We also quite often see that the tusk is also used for manipulating grass. And often we'll notice that there's a notch that's cut into the tusk as they manipulate the grass over a period of time. And this is often where the tusk forms a weak spot and breaks.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, I'm just listening to this. Someone just gave an update. There was reports of wild dogs crossing from the east, but we haven't seen any tracks yet. I'm just listening where they're saying. But we are busy working. We're still in that same area. There's two other vehicles. Darren heard Leopard audio, which is amazing. Because if you can hear it, then you're not far. But it was in this side on the... Oh, that would have been so good. It was a golden-breasted bunting that just took off. We only allowed 2 vehicles at a time in this side, and so there's 2 guys in there already. So I've radioed them and told them to go look where we heard it. Because typically if you can hear a leopard, you're not so far away from it. It doesn't carry the distance the same as a lion call.
Somewhere there, Caribbean, because the family do check its own slope.
So I'm just trying to follow what these guys are saying, because this weather, if there are dogs, they will be running. It will be so good.
England Council heading towards the Raptor, coming from just coming from Tamboti Dam. Just book up Mushe if you like it, because this also looks like it's a Mushe.
Yeah, Janet, you are correct. I think I'm gonna, because where we told the guys, where we heard the Leopard audio, they've managed to find some tracks that he was just saying they look mushle and they must buga gashle. That means the tracks look very good and they must look very carefully. I'm just going to talk on the radio. I want to just find out exactly where they think these wild dogs crossed. I think Mike is also keen. Can any station go with whereabouts the tracks of the Madash enter Djuma? I'd be keen to follow up there. While we try to figure out where these dogs have potentially come into the property, you can head over to Ali for an update from her.
Look like areas from Giraffe.
Well, that's exciting. We haven't had wild dogs on property for a while, so it'll be very nice if Jonty manages to catch up with them. I'm not sure which area they've been running in. We've been on a different radio channel talking to the guys in the eastern side of our traverse to see if maybe Darkmane is there. Because they also had tracks for a female and apparently a young male yesterday going into that area. So I wonder what's happening up in the lion world. But seeing Jonty's covering that area up there, we're just going to stick around down here and then just try to figure out what's been happening. Doesn't seem like the guys in the east have found Darkmane on their property, and sometimes lions do funny things where they'll go in and then they'll come right back up. So I was kind of hoping that would be the case for Darkmane, but oh, what are these? No, these are old. But I'm not sure. I think I'm more wishfully thinking this other than anything. We're just gonna go back down Twin Dams, and if we still can't find anything on that side, then we're just gonna leave the area and try somewhere else for other creatures. Maybe Tandi, maybe Mareebs. Any other creature would be nice. Australia. There haven't been any updates on Tlalamba the last couple of days. The last update we got was that she was hunting Steenbok on Torchwood. Tristan had her a couple of days back, but she was being very difficult to follow. She was obviously hunting and didn't want the cars close to her, so she made sure she lost them. But there was apparently a female leopard seen yesterday. I'm not sure if there was an ID. I suspect it could be her just because of the area where she was walking. They saw her on Galago Shortcut, I heard on the radio this morning, which is roughly the area where Jonty was going to go and check up on this morning. So we got told it was a male leopard, but it seems like now the guys are saying it was actually a female. Probably a case of broken telephone. where we all think that it was this thing, but it was this other animal. So I would suspect she's the one up there. Maybe she's just been on a kill the last couple of days. And Tristan mentioned that she was looking very pregnant when he last saw her. So hopefully there will be little cubbies coming around soon. But as we know, Tlalamba is a very private cat. So she'll let us see them when she's ready and not a second before. Whoop. Pretty sure there's nothing happening here, which are sad times. So we're just gonna move off the area and go look for something else. Maybe we're gonna head on to Torchwood, see if we can find any signs for Thandi and Maribes for the last couple of days. Maybe we'll get lucky in there. What is... Oh, I thought I was hearing an update on the radio. Nope. Seems like Darkmane has gone somewhere else. But it's a strange spot for him to carry on. There are the other two Avokas have been hanging around in that area, so I wonder if maybe he's not gone to meet them. That would be quite a thing. Let's just double check here. Where did I last have these tracks? It's impossible to hear this radio. Alrighty. I think we're gonna leave this spot. Oh well, Morgan, should we go look for Thandi and Maribes?
Somebody from they said they book and console somewhere on Arctic Walk on north.
Sounds like a good plan. Sabi, come in.
Stand by.
Sabi, sorry, I can't copy much, but if you guys are keen on that Ngala, seems like he crossed just a little bit west of Twin Dams, closer to the Misikaya.
Okay, copy. I want to check Lucas open area.
Copy. All right, different species altogether. Here we go. We're gonna send you guys to Pride Lands while we make our way to Torchwood, but let's see what JP's got this morning.
Welcome back on Bushwalk. This morning we're looking at trees and birds so far, and one of the birds that we were hearing in the distance is a pearl-spotted owlet, and it's just starting to call again. You might not hear it on the microphone, but I'm going to definitely try my best to imitate one, and it sounds pretty much like this. I actually got him to answer back again, and quite often we also find that fork-tailed drongos will actually imitate that call, and you actually think that you're doing a pretty good pearl-spotted owlet's impression, and that the owl's going to come, and then there's no owl, and the next moment a drongo pops up and sits and do the call of that pearl-spotted owlet next to you. For those that you that have seen them before, it's the second smallest owl in South Africa, and what I find quite fascinating about them is that they got false eyes on the back of their head, which they use as protective mechanisms to prevent that birds will attack them from behind, as if they are a day-active species which hunts a number of small little birds. In the meanwhile, there's an interesting tree right in front of us, and this is known as a shepherd's tree. And the reason why it's called a shepherd's tree is because shepherds often rest their flocks underneath there, and because the tree also carries leaves throughout the year, which provides food for the flock. I also find it particularly interesting is that you can use the roots, and you can roast them, and you can mix them with either coffee, or you can use them as an alternative for coffee. In the Kalahari, as well as in the western half of South Africa, this is referred to as witgoud coffee because of a white pale coloration of the bark. Another thing that I also find particularly interesting is that the fruit is medicinally used for the treating of epilepsy. And then lastly, one of the most fascinating things that I do find about them is that they form part of the caper family, and many of these species of caper plants are actually used by the brown veined white butterflies, which we will see every year erupting in the western half of South Africa and migrating almost 3,000 to 3,500 kilometers into a northeasterly direction. It's also quite interesting is that butterflies we can almost find everywhere, but they're always dependent on a specific tree species for their larvae to develop on. Good morning, LT, and welcome to the show. And with regards to your question, if there's any tree parts which we can make use for tea, yes, we can. Both red bush willow as well as russet bush willow seed pods can be utilized for making a tea. However, it's said that you have to remove the inner part of the seeds as these are apparently toxic. But one of the things that we do have in the Western Cape region of South Africa is a plant that's called rooibos, which translates into red bush, which is probably one of the healthiest teas on the planet, and it has loaded with antioxidants, and it has absolutely no caffeine in it. And it tastes pretty good as long as you put a little bit of honey into it to sweeten the deal. We're going to hang around here a little bit longer as there's quite a few birds I think coming in. But let's go and see what the others are up to.
Hi, we are Yaku and Milani. We are from Gauteng in South Africa. We started watching WildEarth last year during the level 5 lockdown, and we've been watching ever since.
Being in nature is one of the greatest feelings. We absolutely love it. Our favorite thing about WildEarth is that the concept is so amazing. We have the benefit of having a wildlife safari in the comfort of your home, especially when you're not allowed to go out. Being part of the Wildlife Explorer program gives us a sense of giving back and contributing to nature. It just makes us feel good because we love it so much. We are so excited to be visiting Ngala. It is obviously, I think for most people, an absolute dream to visit the Masai Mara. We can't wait to go.
Thank you very much for this amazing prize, WildEarth.
WildEarth Explorers. It's in your nature.
We got there. He had probably moved a couple of 100 meters down the river and was about 10 meters from this causeway. So I radioed the lodge quickly and just asked them to bring a land cruiser around and some tow straps. So we thought we were going to try be heroes and save this giraffe. And now a big bull, probably over a ton. He's a big unit. Got the tow strap one side of the giraffe and managed to get it around him with the boat, and the other edge of the tow strap obviously back onto the bank. So we made this U around him because he was lying quite close to the bank. And we put that land cruiser in low range and we just gave it hell and pulled that giraffe, and the tow strap slipped up and we thought, oh no, it's going to slip off the top of it, and it caught on his Aussie cones at the top. And that last 10 meters pulled him out onto the bank, and he battled. He was obviously quite weak and all that.
This is a battle of two great carnivores of the African wilderness. Whew. Whoa! You don't want to be under those jaws. Definitely, this round goes to the lion. Look at that. Fantastic.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth.
yeah, just for an update, we've just checked that waterhole that I was hoping that maybe these lions may have gone down to get some water last night, but nothing there. So we just taken another road that circle around that block and hoping that we may pick up some signs of them in this area, but no luck as yet. And also hoping to see if we can have vultures sitting up in trees around here if the animals have killed something in the block. So we're just gonna carry on around here and have a look, see if we can pick up any signs that we can follow up on, but no luck with either vultures or any fresh tracks. But we're just gonna check one area that I haven't Sorry, James, you breaking up there. Didn't get the question. Can you try again? Not recently, because I just got back from leave, but I'll find out from the other guys if they've seen them recently mating. So, but myself, I haven't, because I just got back from leave a couple of days ago. But I'll definitely try and find out. Yeah, I was just saying earlier on, I'm just gonna check one place that I didn't check this morning and see if we can have any luck here. Otherwise, we'll hope to see vultures in trees. Maybe that's where the animals are gonna be, and then hoping, yeah, we're just gonna carry on and hope to find some fresh tracks. And let's go over to Ali and hope Ali finds something for us.
Well, I need to tell you guys a story. As we were driving down towards the dam, just to come check it out, see who's hanging around here, Morgan suddenly says, I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me. So I'm like, oh, where is the leopard, Morgan? And he just says to me, I was like, no, I think there's an impala on the island in the middle of the dam. And lo and behold, there really is an impala in the middle of the island, which is not a usual place for impalas to be. So what we suspect is that this impala, whose coat actually looks fairly wet, is kind of stranded on the island, because just to the right of her, there's a crocodile in the water. I don't know, there we go, those are the eyes. So what I suspect happened was that the impala was somewhere around here drinking, and it caught a fright as maybe the crocodile tried to eat it, and then she swam onto the island where she's currently stuck on, because the crocodile is there. So if you see her coat, it's pretty wet. I'm sure this happened in the early hours of the morning, because the coat doesn't seem to be dripping anymore. But now it's kind of a game of patience between the impala and the crocodile, because she'll eventually have to get back onto the mainland. She won't be able to live on the island forever. There's enough food for her to be around for the next while, or sort of today. Maybe the crocodile will get bored. He'll find something else that he finds more suitable and leave the impala alone. But yeah, Morgan's eyes did not deceive him this morning. Just put those eyes to good use, okay? We're looking for spots after. Not impala. I mean, it would be pretty cool if Marib's all of a sudden appeared from behind the wall. He's also a cat that would kind of do that kind of stuff, maybe riding the crocodile to the island. He would definitely consider something like that. But very unusual event. It's my first time ever to see an impala there, and I don't think it was by choice. I think it was more a survival strategy. Often when the impala come down to drink, that's where the crocodiles wait for them. So what I suspect happened is that the crocodile tried to come out and perhaps grab one of them, missed, this one jumped, and then the most logical thing was then to carry on swimming towards the next piece of land that it found, which was right in front. So it seems maybe we can have a look to see if she actually went up and on that little sandbank there. I can't actually see from here. It's a little too far away. I was trying to see maybe if she jumped or onto this the bank there. You see where the fallen over tree is, or the stump, where the sandy patch. Yeah, but I can't really see if there are any tracks in there. I would have imagined, in my mind, what I'm thinking is she was drinking somewhere along this side, not too far from where we are, and then she had to jump in there. So I was thinking if maybe that's the way she jumped in, but it's hard to tell from here if there are actually any Impala tracks on there. Anna Marie, I also hope that she gets back onto the mainland and that she survives. I mean, very clever of her to get away from the crocodile this way, but I think she is puzzled by our presence now because she has not stopped looking at us. So we're not here for a bra. We're not going to eat you, don't worry. You only have to worry about the crocodile for now. And I mean, as we know, there are 2 big crocodiles in here, so I wonder if perhaps the other one is not on the other side of the island just waiting for her. And this one's being very clever, patiently waiting for her just on the edge there. What can you see there, Impala? Shame she's all wet. At least it's not as cold today as it was during the previous days. So if it gets nice and hot, she'll have some shade. She's got some bushes to eat. Whiteberry bushes, maybe it's what it looks like. Some lantana for her to eat. Good thing that impalas are mixed feeders, so they can eat both grass and leaves. So at least she's got an advantage this way. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be too hot. She's got water, although I'm not too sure how brave she'll be going down to the water. Certainly looking quite wide-eyed, isn't she? I did not expect to see an impala on this island ever. Maybe 2 years ago, when the water was very shallow and the dam was almost empty due to the drought, then you could almost walk from this side onto where she is. But now there's quite a bit of a gap. So unless you swim, you won't get there. And I wouldn't take my chances in most waterways in Africa to swim from an island to the next, especially if you can't see the bottom. And you don't know who's lurking in there and who wants to eat you the minute you put your foot in. What an adventure. Sometimes I wonder if, because crocodiles are such prehistoric creatures, if they just nursed their patience for years and years. Tammy Lee, I don't think the impala will swim faster than the crocodile. Impalas are not meant to swim, although they can. But I think the crocodile will be much faster than the impala. And that's why she's just standing up there, I suppose, trying to figure out her next move. We've got some commotion in the water thickening world. Don't know if you can see the birds there. They were also having a fight. Perhaps this is not a good island day for the inhabitants. They've got somebody that's not supposed to be there. So in the middle and to the right, we've got the water thickneys, and there's a green-backed heron that was not too far from there, and the 3 of them were just having a spat. So I wonder if the one that's in the middle doesn't maybe have eggs. No. Don't know. They didn't seem too happy to be sharing close proximity. So they were just fighting one another, opening their wings now. You'd think that maybe they would worry a little bit more about the crocodile, but crocodiles have, funny enough, with some species of plovers, made some interesting relationships where they allow some of the birds to actually feed from their mouth, from their teeth, just to get all the scraps of meat and things that get stuck in there. But in this case, I don't think that's... Oh, the crocodile's moving away. Oh, maybe our impala friend does have a chance. Slowly moving away.
I can see you there. Is any info of this, my daughter Ngala? Again, from that domestic car, somebody south. Okay. You wanna land there in there? just trying my luck. Where you?
Seems like Darkmane really did carried on walking south, and it'll be interesting to chat to the guys later and see where he's gone on. I'm glad we kind of left him and came this way, because at least we got this very interesting sighting. And I don't know where the other crocodile is, could be lurking around here, but crocodiles don't normally hunt together and put strategies together, so I don't think this is the case of one trying to move away to pretend that it's not here and trying to lure the impala back in. I think maybe it just got tired and it's moving off to its next meal. So hopefully the impala will take the chance. I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to move off further back in case this impala actually wants to come down the island, because it's just busy staring at us. So I'm going to move back quite at a distance and see if maybe she comes back onto the mainland.
Yeah, we're still on the search for these lands, but still no luck. So yeah, it will be really beautiful to find this land still on the move, because this is a beautiful weather for the lands to be still hunting this time of the day, hoping to find them on the move, maybe still trying to get something to eat, or while they're busy feeding off something. Yeah, I'm hoping to find them as soon as I can. Yeah, so we're just checking this road and hope that there will be tracks that we can follow up on. Yeah, I'm hoping to spend maybe another half an hour or so, and if we can't find them, we might change our plan and try look for something else, because this is also a good area that we can find a leopard, maybe wild dogs to this part of the reserve. So there will be lots of other animals to look forward to. It will be really nice to find elephants and watch them while we're trying to find the lions. Let's hope we find the lions that we're looking for this morning. Otherwise, maybe change the plan if we cannot find anything at the end of this road. But we're just gonna check another road that joins this one just further ahead of us and see if we can have any luck there, because this is the last direction we saw tracks of the male lions moving into. So I'm hoping that they'll come out somewhere in this area. So if we don't find them, we're gonna try look for other animals that exist in the area, because lions are not the only species of animals that we can find in Ngala Reserve. There are African elephants, there are buffalo that I haven't seen recently. You can see a leopard while we're looking for the lions. So let's hope something is going to come up for us, but I'm definitely hoping to find these lions.
Welcome back on Bushwalk. At the moment we're looking at the track of a giraffe, world's tallest land mammal, an animal that has the ability to get up to 5.8 meters in height. What I do find amazing is that most species of giraffe, as well as other animals, all evolved from very small ancestors, which was pretty much the same size as a scrub hare. And they evolved into incredibly large animals. And what I find fascinating is that plants material was one of the things that allowed them to become so big. One of the things I want to have a quick point out on the track over here is that it's a fairly long track. If you have a look over here, it's sometimes up to just well over 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters in length. And we can see that there's a clear split in the middle, which makes this an even-toed ungulate. Unlike zebras and rhinos, which are odd-toed ungulates, which has either one or three toes. What I also find particularly interesting is that there's always a negative little space over here, which helps us to identify the track of a giraffe, as it always leaves a large little amount of soil in the front over here. Some of the aspects that we always look for when we are looking at tracks is firstly the direction and where it's going. And you can see how the track is tapering here to the front. And quite often we'll see how soil has been flicked up. Other important aspects of tracking is actually getting the track between you and the sun. And on a day like today, we're actually battling to pick up the tracks because the light being so poor. Some of the other important things that we also like to do is then to study all the details of a track. And here we already determined that it's an even-toed ungulate. We looked at the size of a track, which immediately helped us to separate it from buffalo, which is more square-shaped, which would fit perfectly into a square, unlike the giraffe, it fits into a rectangle. Buffalo also tends to be much more rounded in appearance compared to that of a giraffe track. We also then like to sometimes just step back and look at everything else which we can see in the ground, because there's most of the time something additional that will help you to lead into making a decision on which species of animal has walked through that area. Some of the other important aspects of tracking, if we are tracking, is actually having patience and also having the ability to be intuitive about what the animal is doing. Well, we're going to link you back with Ali, who is busy viewing an Impala that's stuck on the island. I'm quite curious how it got there. It's most likely been chased there by some predator, and in the aid of escaping, it risks swimming across a crocodile-infested dam. Let's move off and go and see what we can find.
Well, we're not sure how it got there, but right now we're more worried about how it's going to get off of there. The crocodile carried on swimming and it went across, it went around the island, and it's just, we assume, basically behind the Impala in the water. So where that dead stump is, we last saw it carried on swimming, going more towards the left-hand side. So I suspect it's on the back of the island there. Now, I don't know if it's quite steep on the other side. I'm not sure what the island looks like from the lodge itself. But perhaps there's a way for the crocodile to get up there, or from there, not from that spot, but from behind those bushes where the Impala is. So we're just going to stick around for a little while, see if perhaps we see the crocodile coming up from there. And if the crocodile does come from behind the Impala, she should have enough time to actually come down the little bank, swim across, and then jump out. Ooh, that bird gave me a fright. I kind of thought it was the crocodile coming out. Morgan and I have been waiting with bated breath. We don't know what's happening. We can't see the crocodile now. But we're kind of rooting for the Impala. Morgan actually wants the Impala to eat the crocodile. I'm not too sure that's ever going to happen. But we all have our hopes and dreams, so it felt bad to just crush Morgan's dreams straight away. So we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. I can't really see the crocodile swimming. It hasn't swum past the island yet, so this is why we suppose that the crocodile is actually behind it. Maybe it's just being very clever, and obviously they know this island quite well. I wonder if there's not a spot where he can climb up and then maybe just try to get the Impala from behind, or surprise the Impala from behind. But chances are that the Impala would hear or see the crocodile coming out from the water on the other side. And although it looks like we're fairly close, it's just the effect of the zoom lens. We're actually quite far away from the Impala and the crocodile in the island. So Morgan is not going to be able to zoom out because the lodge is just in the background and we're not allowed to show it. But we've given them plenty of space to play it out because we don't want to be a factor in whatever interaction might happen or might not happen at this stage. What a bad day for the Impala. White mane, chances are that the crocodile would be somewhat sluggish. They are reptiles, and so they rely on external factors like the sunlight to warm themselves up, get up and moving. However, if it's been in the water and the water hasn't been as cold, then I think he'll be fairly active. Also, they can choose to remain or to lower their metabolism when they go into the water to preserve heat. It's that's why sometimes they're able to remain for so long underwater. But I think in this case, it's also the fact that it's got an opportunity to hunt something that it's keeping him going, or her. Should have called it it. Don't know why I've decided it's a male. Interesting. I'm still waiting to see if maybe we can see this crocodile coming out from behind the island. Vicky, I do. I think the Impala is pregnant. It looks fairly round on the edges, and most of the Impala should be pregnant at this time of the year, and they will start giving birth around about October, November with the first rains. Impalas breed seasonally around about May, June. I think this year they actually might have started a little bit earlier. But the rutting season is normally around May, when they all start mating together, and then the vast majority of the females, and they give birth, as I was saying, around about October and November. So very likely there's a 2-for-1 in there, so that's why I'm also hoping she'll make it. We want all the little Impala lambs we can get. Although I'm pretty sure that is Tandi's same thought. Come on, Croc, reveal yourself. Infinite, not sure that Impala would be brave enough to jump across. They can jump very high distances or long distances, but they require a bit of impulse or to be running to then be able to make those jumps. I think if they're potentially running quite far, they can jump 5-6 meters or so. Okay, guys. Those troublemakers there were the Harira ibis, if anyone was wondering. Quite loud birds. Not really worried about anything that's happening around here. But yeah, I don't think she'll be able to jump from there to the other side of the island. I think she would probably try and land as close to the mainland as she can, but I think it's a little too far away. If she could, maybe she would have done it already. So I think the fact that's stuck there is that she knows that she can't, and then she's going to have to face the water at some stage, or face part of the water at some stage. The crocodile still hasn't come out from the other side. We thought maybe the crocodile had given up and he was going to carry on swimming away, but when we saw him turn onto the other side of the island, that's when we got a bit stressed, but in a good way, and then we decided to stay a little while longer and see what's actually happening here. While we continue to see how this plays out, let's go and have a look at the prize you can win and to go to andBeyond Phinda.
Calling all WildEarth explorers, we have a new and frankly awesome travel prize for you to win. andBeyond Phinda Private Game Reserve encompasses an impressive 28,000 hectares of protected wildlife land in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. As you have seen on WildEarth, andBeyond Phinda showcases one of the continent's finest game viewing experiences and is well known for close-up sightings of the elegant yet elusive cheetah, as well as the rare black rhino. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer before the 16th of September, and you and a friend could be heading to the magnificent Phinda Mountain Lodge, where you will spend 3 nights escaping the real world at this ultimate safari location. WildEarth explorers, it's in your nature.
Yeah, we just moving out of that area because there's no sign of the pride coming out. We're just going slightly to the west of which that's the area where you'll normally find the Birmingham breakaway. So we're just hoping to find fresh signs from them that we can follow up on. So we just left that area where we've been trying to find the Birmingham pride, of which those animals may be still in the block there in that area. There's not even vultures that we can see to tell us where we can go and look. So we're just gonna try this spot now, hoping to find fresh signs from the Birmingham pride as well as the Ross males, because that's the last direction where they were heading the last couple of days when they were seen. So let's hope we'll find fresh signs of the Birmingham pride and then follow up on those animals to the western part of the reserve, of which there's also good area with some nice open clearings, to see if we can have any luck on finding a cheetah in those areas, of which cheetah will be really nice to see, because that's one of those animals that we don't get to see very often. Otherwise, if we don't find any of that, there will be other species of animals to look forward to find. You can see we're going through this beautiful vegetation here. Elephants have been feeding through here. We might find some elephants, you never know. So let's hope, Birmingham pride will be here for us. If we don't have luck on lions this morning, we always have the afternoon, and tomorrow is another day. But let's hope we'll find lions, either Birmingham breakaway to this side, because we haven't seen them as well for quite some time. So it will be really nice to see and find them and see how many they are in that pride. Maybe some of those females have cubs, because a while ago when I last saw the short-tailed female from the Birmingham pride, she was mating with one of not in Ngala Reserve, Lara, as far as I know, on the western side. The Birmingham breakaway will be the pride that operates the western part of the reserve, unless they go into the Timbavati. There's a property called Avoca on the western boundary. That's where they'll go in sometimes. Maybe there will be another pride. There is a pride that's known as Avoca Pride. Unless the Avoca pride decide to overlap that territory into the Birmingham breakaways territory, that's the only pride that I know they might as well challenge the Birmingham breakaway. Otherwise, as far as I know, the western part of the reserve, it's operated by the Birmingham breakaway. That's why I'm coming in to this section to try and see if we can have any luck on finding fresh signs of them and follow up on that, because there's no luck with the Birmingham pride. And then the Ross males were heading in this direction. They may have decided to come and check this section where the Birmingham pride is normally found. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna go over to the west and try see if we can have any luck with the Birmingham pride or the two Ross males, because if anything, they have headed in that direction to try and join up with the Birmingham pride. So we're just gonna carry on down this road to the western side of the property and search the western part of the reserve and see if we can have any luck on finding the Birmingham breakaway pride. You can see also a beautiful area where you can find lions hunting, because there's nice bushes around here. So let's carry on and see if we can have any luck on any signs of the Birmingham pride to the west of the reserve.
scrap here collected a dry grass, put it next to the waterhole as the hippo walks down during the warm of the day to drink the water. When the hippo arrives, he saw quite a very nice grass, an area not to resist to rest. And when the hippo went down to drink the water, and when finished the water, he just lied down on the grass. And then, that was the opportunity of the scrappy. You know what? Today is my day to pay the revenge.
Looks like it's a very difficult climb because every time it tries to climb, the ground is breaking, so it slides down. But it's the only one. Look at that. That is the call of desperation with the cub. It's like, what are you doing, mommy? Oops! Oof!
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Welcome back on Bushwalk. We just found a hammerkop that came to visit the dam. It just flew up and landed on top of a tree there. Now, the name hammerkop actually refers to the flat head that appears like a shape of a hammer, and this is where the bird gets its name from. So quite often when we do see hammerkops, they're actually busy disturbing the edge of the water with their feet in the hope that they can catch some frogs. And one of the frogs that they like catching is these very slippery and toxic platanas. Quite often they will also drag them on the ground to get rid of the excess mucus and toxins that is excreted through their skin. We also see that they're very effective with catching fish, and quite often they will stand at weirs and catch tiny little fish which is trying to jump and make their way up that weir. They're also responsible for making an incredibly large dome-shaped nest. However, the nest that we see onto the right-hand side of the bird actually belongs to red-billed buffalo weavers. Their nest can even be bigger than this. Their nest entrance is generally in the center of a large mass of vegetation and material that they will accumulate over a period of time. I also find it interesting that they'll often decorate their nest with a number of things that they can find. This might range from man-made things such as plasters, as well as pieces of plastic that they will put onto the nest to decorate it. We also find that they quite often will have association with owls. As owls don't build their own nests, they simply utilize the top part of the nest of a hammerkop, and in return they often act as a necessary protection against potential predators that might venture close by to the nest, as the owls will be aggressive towards any mammal predator that does come close by to that nest. There's also a fascinating African cultural belief that is associated with hammerkop. And in African culture, they say if you harm a hammerkop, it will bring lightning to destroy your house. We've also got some Impala just coming in to the side of a dam there. Everybody seems to come for a drink now that it's slightly becoming warmer through the course of the morning. One in the front, it's ewe without the horns, followed by the ram directly behind her. Of quite a few of the woodland antelope species which we find in this area, you'll notice that only the males have horns. And the reason, horns actually get in the way when you move through thick vegetation. But when we get to open plains game species such as Wildebeest, you'll actually notice that both male and female will have horns. And this is necessary for the female to protect herself as well as her young in that open environment. We're going to hang around our waterhole for a little bit longer. Let's go and see what Ali's waterhole is producing for this morning.
We are experiencing all the emotions right now. So the Impala's just come down from the little island where she was, and where she's walking is where we had that little sandy patch that went onto the water, where we thought maybe she initially crossed. I suspect she's looking for a way out now of the island and looking of how she's going to get back. The crocodile is on the side where she's walking towards now, but at a distance. It's more in the corner of the island. There it is, just hiding underneath that fallen over tree. And I think the impala is now just starting to look for ways of how to get off the island. But that's not the most clever place, impala. I have to go the other way. It's a shorter distance. If she tries to swim across the main dam to any other point, it's too far, and she will likely be caught by the crocodile. Oh. Okay, seems like she's just wanted some food. Maybe she's eating, looks like a white berry bush. Bush babe, I mean, I suppose the hippos can chase her off the island if they suddenly want to go into the island, but I think at this point in time, it's actually more the crocodile that she needs to worry about. The hippos are kind of still sleepy, doing their own thing, and if they come out and they want to bask on the island, then, chances are that they will chase her off that particular spot. Some hippos are known to be aggressive towards impala, and some occasions where, for example, impalas are also being chased by wild dogs and they jump into the water to get away from them. Hippos are then known to also kill impala, but I think it's more to a response to a stressful situation rather than them actually trying to hunt them and eating them. For now, the hippos are just doing their own thing. I haven't even glanced in her direction. The crocodile seems to be chilling. I don't know if the crocodile realizes... I can't actually see where the head of the crocodile is. I don't know if it realizes that the impala's come down and she's just carried on eating. So maybe hunger got the best of her and that's why she's come down and started feeding on there. But it would make more sense, logically, for us that we can assess from a distance perspective. It would make more sense for her to jump onto the other side and then try to swim across than try to get into the water from here and then try to swim across from here. Because she would still have to go around the island and then onto the mainland. Wonder how long she's actually been stuck on there for. I wonder if she's gonna try and make... Well, I don't think she would make a jump from there. Oh, I can just see the little tip of her legs. I can actually just only see 2 legs and the metatarsal glands. Just that black spot in there. Not too much happening. I think she's just feeding. Is the crocodile coming out of the water? Wow, the crocodile is coming out of the water. It's far though. Still far. Morgan adds, the impala's breakfast is coming out of the water. We clearly know whose side you're on, Morgan. Well done. I'm also on the impala side. Not because I've got anything against crocodiles, but you know, you always root for the underdog. I don't know if this crocodile is intending on hunting this impala anymore though. Perhaps he's just pretending not to care. Pretty sure that crocs know that the impala is there. Game of patience. Oh, Impala, where are you going? Going the wrong way. Now is your chance. Oh, don't stop and scratch yourself. Why are you walking towards the crocodile?
Stalking.
Stalking? I don't think this is stalking, Morgan. I have no words right now. She's just going straight towards the crocodile. Okay, good Impala. I think it's just seen the crocodile now. Up on top of the island you go. She can definitely see the crocodile there. Yeah, backtrack. I'm kind of hoping that she won't carry on coming down, but I'm not too sure that she's realized that it's better to go the other way. Okay, back onto the top of the island we go. Good Impala. Danny, considering the crocodile's just been in the water, I don't think the Impala can actually smell it the same way that it would sniff out a lion or a leopard. As we know, the water tends to dilute smell quite a lot, so perhaps she can pick up something. I would imagine she did, but not as strongly or not as sharply as she would some of the other predators if the wind was blowing their scent towards her. I think she's just struggling to figure out which way is her best way out of the island now that she's seen the crocodile is down there. Because she's gone back to the top. We can only see the tail flicking every now and again through the bushes. And it would have been much easier if she had just gone down and she'd gone just behind. Although there's a steep bank on there, so I wonder if that's maybe what's keeping her from going back onto the land. It's just that. And now she can definitely see the crocodile. Perhaps she thought that the crocodile had left, but now, still there. Paula, what are you doing? I think she's getting antsy now. She clearly wants to get off the island.
And we are just watching some baboons going about their day. Look at that one busy grooming the other one. Not a bad way to start the day, a little back scratch from your pal. the beautiful sunbird just flew past.
Got it there?
On this, yeah. Can you see it?
Have you still got it?
It just moved. It's a bit lower down there.
There we go.
Oh, whoa. It came right at us.
Well, we've got the crocodile swimming away from the island now, just adding a bit more to the confusion of the scenery. Maybe the crocodile is indeed scared of the impala and Morgan was onto something for the first time in centuries. The only logical option, Morgan says. Okay. But going back to real life, it could just be that the crocodile is trying a different strategy. It could be that it's just pretending to move away and then it'll go under the water and then swim back towards the island. The impala was indeed almost wanting to come out of this island, and where we saw it that was feeding earlier, and maybe it was just jumping that way. Did it jump? Did you hear a splash?
I heard something, but I can't see it.
I also can't see the impala. I wonder if the impala is taking the plunge. No, I don't think so. There it is again. Kind of sounded like a splash, but I think it was more a wishful splash. Maybe you know what we heard was actually the hippos. But clearly wanting the impala to get away. No, unfortunately, there's not really any way for us to go try and reposition the vehicle to have a clearer view when she goes behind. Bobby, impalas have pretty good eyesight. But better than their eyesight, perhaps, is their sense of smell and their hearing. Seems like the crocodile... Oh, now you're moving very fast, crocodile. Crocodile's gone back to the island after pretending it was going away. You can see there's definitely some speed that he's put in there. Well, he's definitely made a fast approach towards where the impala was earlier, and she's been coming down into this area a little bit more towards the edge of the water. Oh, are you gonna go out? I think crocodile is in stalking mode for sure. Quite an impressive creature walking out of the water. I think the impala spotted the crocodile. Impala, don't go any closer. Yeah, clever impala. Gone to the top of the island again. Try and hide away from the crocodile. Well done, impala. Don't know how long this game is going to go on for, but I suspect the whole day. Now she's coming down on the other side. I mean, that's also a good area. If she jumps in there and swims across to the shore, then she'll be fine. You can see by the movements. When we first arrived, she was standing pretty still, feeding, and now she started walking the island. So I think she's trying to figure out what her best approach is and how she can leave the crocodile over there and then just jump. Now that the crocodile is actually on shore, she's got a better chance if she leaps into the water and then away from the crocodile and then tries to swim across. I think she's just gauging all her options. But that crocodile really meant business when it was coming out of the water like that. The second crocodile, no? Can you see a second crocodile? Oh, no, you mean in general. Morgan is asking if I can see the second crocodile. I haven't been able to see the second crocodile in all the time we've been here. Come on, Impala, you got this. All you have to do is jump there. Jesse, it could be two things. It could be that the crocodile was trying to actually stalk the impala and then just catch it as it was coming there, or it could be that it's just given up. It's decided it's too cold, it's come out to warm up. Or it was just... But why are you lifting your head now, crocodile? The impala's in the water! Go, impala, go! Go! Ah! Did you see her come out? There she goes. She's on the left-hand side. Clever impala. Off she went. Well done. Whew. Well, this has been charged with emotions. Very clever. That's why the crocodile lifted its head. I'm sure you could hear the impala jump in the water. And she crossed right where we thought she would have earlier, where we were on the other side and we could see that. She jumped and then just ran out and then moved off. And I think that's when the crocodile raised its head. So I suspect the crocodile was either trying to find a new position or it was just kind of giving up. But now that the impala has crossed, and I'm pretty sure when it heard the splash, then the crocodile went back into the water in the same corner where it was there, just by the tree. Whew, impala lives to live the tale another day. That was close at one stage, especially when she was coming to investigate. Very lucky impala. Wow. Well, we've been on an emotional journey, so we're going to send you guys across to Dyke, who's also got a journey that he's looking at.
Yeah, we just got here in this nice open clearing here. As you can see, we've got a journey of giraffes, which is collective noun of these animals. A group of giraffes is called a journey when they on a move, but otherwise if they're standing still, might be known as a tower of giraffe. It's always fascinating to find these animals together like this, grazing around, browsing around the trees. And yeah, because you'll normally see one on his own, because these animals will travel in a very elusive structure of which sometimes you may see one or two, while there's more than what you can see. As you can see that one's about to bend down there, which is very interesting. Let's see what he's gonna pick up. That's a young female, possibly was trying to get something on the ground there. These animals, you'll see them doing that sometimes. If there's an area where there was a dead animal a while ago, as you can see she's chewing on something, possibly picked up a piece of bone on the ground and chewing on that to get the calcium off, which is very, very interesting sometimes, because they normally eat leaves, but you saw how the animal bend onto the ground and pick up something there. So it's trying to chew on whatever she picked up. I definitely think that can be a small bone from a small animal, because a while ago there was a pack of wild dogs here that killed an impala. So that can be one piece of bone that was left from that impala carcass. That's what she's busy chewing on. As you can see, these animals stay very relaxed because we're busy trying to see if we can find any fresh signs of the Birmingham breakaway pride, if there were anywhere in the area. These animals are very reliable. As you can see with the long necks, they can see a bit of a distance away from each other. As it's quite a few of them together like this, they'll be standing sort of like in a row and staring in one particular direction. That will tell that they'll definitely be looking or watching something, maybe a predator in the area, but seems to be very relaxed, even though they're walking slowly, but they'll do that carefully, looking around, because lions can ambush them behind these green guava bushes there. So that's why even if they walk, every now and then they'll stop and look around. That helps a lot with that long neck that they have to see things from a distance. That's why there's lots of other prey species that would like to hang around with the giraffe, like Impalas, zebra, Wildebeest, because the giraffes have this as you can see, the one that just bent down and pick up the bone and busy chewing on it there, or a few of them are still young, so they a little bit light in color when they still young, and then they change the color as they grow up. So the older they are, the darker they become. As you can see, the one that's walking away, he's a little bit darker than the others, so he's a bit older than the others that you can see here. And then size-wise, if you look at that, you can tell he's a male because he's also slightly bigger than the rest. And then that's how you can tell the sexes from a distance. It's either by looking at the horns, which the male's horns will be thicker than those of the female, and also worn down from fighting, because the males will fight for dominancy, swing those necks and bang each other quite hard. And generally the males will be slightly larger than the females. So we're just going to carry on and see if we can pick up any fresh signs from the Birmingham breakaway pride, because this giraffe seems to be really relaxed. They don't show any sign of anything that's worrying them in the area. So we're just going to leave them here and carry on down.
While the African bush is desperate for rain, spring is certainly in the air. Fresh green leaves are sprouting, flowers are adding color to the landscape, and many animals are preparing for the birth of their young. At the moment, large concentrations of wildlife can be found at waterholes, which are the lifeline for the animals. But soon the rains will arrive, and the bush will transform overnight. Seasonal rivers will start to flow, the bush will be filled with baby animals, and it will become a time of plenty. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer and join Ali and Jonty for a special Spring Has Sprung fireside chat on the 12th of September, straight after the Sunset Safari. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
It's day one of the annual South African Guide of the Year competition, and our first foot into this competition this morning is all about tracks and signs.
We're going to call you in one at a time. Just look at it, the information will be there.
Our 5 guides have been tasked by the judges at figuring out who is what is who, and where they go in the bush.
Either Franklin or guinea fowl, but because of the volume of other deposits in the area, we went with guinea fowl.
Detailing the surrounding that you need to look out for tracks. The details is very important.
Okay, so we are back by Djuma Dam after, I don't know, I think we got some of the most cryptic radio updates the world has ever heard. We went on a bit of a wild goose chase, so I've now decided to turn the radio off and we'll just come and see what we can find. These look like tracks of dark mane from where he came and drank maybe early this morning. When I say dark mane, I mean that male lion that we saw last night, one of the northern Avoca males. I wonder where he's gone to lie down for the rest of today. But we've had a good time. We've been doing a bit of birding. Darren's adding to his list. Oh, Darren, you didn't hear yesterday, but when we were telling the monkey stories, I said you've had a couple monkey encounters. So if enough viewers say so, you got to tell your story. You have to. Otherwise I'll tell it and I'll definitely bend the truth. Let's see what the viewers say. Darren, if they want you to talk, my man, you got to talk. Okay. What's that? What did you see there? It looks like a chagra, brown-crowned chagra. It'll be difficult. Darren's becoming quite the old birder. It's tricky there. They've gone into that scraggly Tambweti branches. I don't think that'll be a great view. While we continue along here, you're going to head over and join Dyke on his bumble.
Yeah, it's always exciting when you go through a vegetation like this because you're looking very hard. The lions will be lying under one of these guari bushes, but no luck as yet. So we're approaching one of the water holes on the western part of the reserve, hoping that something drinking, maybe pick up any fresh sign, break away. So this is where our hopes are. Like if these animals happen to have needed to drink, it will be by this water hole. Otherwise there is another one. Not good. There will be fresh signs from this pride. May have came here last night, and then if not, we'll go over to the next water hole, check that, and hope maybe something will be drinking there. Maybe some elephants or hippos by the other waterhole. So we'll carry on and see if we can have any luck. Let's go over to Ellie and Djuma and see what they can surprise us with.
Alright, I'm trying to pay attention to what's happening on the radio. It seems like Marieb's was found on Torchwood this morning. So we're gonna head that way. We're still at a distance from where they are, but we're gonna head that way and hopefully we'll be able to get lucky with them, or with him. I don't think Tandi's in the sighting, but gonna have to figure out how to get there first. Some signal when we do get there. Should just probably check my map, but I feel like this will be a good road to head onto. Let's see. Fingers crossed. Signal all along. I got pretty lucky with that sighting. So hopefully we'll get lucky with the second sighting, or of a very big cat. I don't want to set any expectations as to what the sighting will be. Hopefully he'll be nice. Sorry? Yeah, hopefully we get there. Yeah. I like that you're keeping it real this morning. Standing by.
Check otherwise I will drop a shasha on the Ngala.
Sorry, Elias, I should be there in about maybe 5 minutes or so. Ready in from Gary main side.
I'll wait for you then.
Yeah, if you look there on that hole, it's very interesting. There's a couple of birds standing very dead still. These are water thickenings just by the edge of the water there. It's really interesting because there on that hole I've seen baby crocodiles and large crocodiles sitting on the entrance of that hole, of which we don't see where the crocodile is at the moment. So I'm sure those birds don't know of that. They won't be sitting there unless the crocodile is in the water somewhere. Because at some stage the babies will be in that hole. So I'm hoping to see the crocodile maybe come out and try catch one of those, but you never know. They might just sit there. Maybe they have a nest somewhere not too far from that area, but that won't be a very safe spot for them to have a nest around that hole, because the young crocodiles go in and out that hole, sometimes come back in the water, but I haven't seen them recently. I saw them when they were really small. Maybe some of them did make it and some of them didn't, because you'll have lots of other big water beds that will maybe take them sometimes. But yeah, that's not a very safe spot for them. Let's hope nothing happens to them there and hope to see. Yeah, so we're just gonna see what happens to them, and I was hoping to check a little bit further and see if we can pick up those lion tracks, and I was hoping maybe the crocodile is here so we can see, and there's not even a sign of hippo and this water hole, so we're just gonna move on towards the other water hole, still hoping to pick up fresh signs from these lions. And yeah, we're gonna leave here and hope to check again and see if these birds are still both alive, because there's a crocodile that goes in and out of that hole. So we're just gonna move on.
So we are on the way to Twin Dams. We're not far. We want to see what's happening there. Hopefully some good birding action on the water's edge. Maybe we'll even get real lucky and have some sort of mammal waiting for us there. There are tracks of a male lion currently on the road. That would be something. Yeah, he carried on down there towards Twin Dams. Maybe we are going to get super lucky here.
Well, we're still far from what... Okay. Standing by.
Yeah, I think I'm out from Touchwood. You're welcome to go in.
Copy, thanks, Mike. It's just a car coming in front of us. I feel like we're both going the same way. So here we go. We're still far from where Marives was reportedly seen. So hopefully we'll get there. Apparently he's not moving, he's standing still. So I'm kind of hoping he'll stick around there. That would be quite lovely. But as I said, there's a car in front of us, so I'm going to slow down a little bit, let them get ahead of us, because otherwise we're just going to fill our eyes and the cameras with a fair amount of dust. Even though it rained a couple of days ago, it's still very dry all around us. So there, in all of these sandy patches where there are sandy roads, then it's very easy when a car drives through to just create this dust cloud behind it. We don't really want to eat all of it because it'll damage some of the equipment. Oh, my eyes. All right, guys, off you go. Let's just let them get ahead of us. Don't really want to send Morgan off flying into the universe. Are you holding on? No, you're not. Yeah. He says this with his hands in his pockets. All right. It's looking very cloudy to the western side. Not the greatest weather. Sorry, Elton, I didn't hear you. Could you repeat? Pardon? Oh, everyone's crossing fingers. Yes, we are crossing fingers too. Sorry, with the wind, I can't really hear all that much. But we're all hoping that he'll be there because we're on a roadie mission. I might have to check my map soon. I think we're not too far now. It's just that there was sort of no direct route there. We have to take another road that takes us far and then takes us towards where he is. But I see the rocks now, so I'm kind of hoping he'll be there. He is reportedly still there. Don't know where exactly, but there. Not sure where the car is turning around, so let's see. Should be able to see a car from here somewhere. To the right. Did you see the car to the right? Okay. Come, Wendy, you got this. Alrighty. I didn't see the car to the right. I was so hoping that it would be on the rocks. When they see an animal and they make ID.
Yeah, we're busy checking around this area, but we still haven't had any luck. As you can see, this is a beautiful place. We were hoping that there would be animals drinking around this waterhole, but nothing so far. So I'm just hoping to find something that we can watch, or maybe some hippos in the water, but I haven't seen any sign because this hippos, we don't have a perennial river or a permanent flowing river, so these animals will move from one waterhole to another. So we're just driving here and hoping for some hippos that they can pop their heads out from this waterhole. Otherwise we'll just carry on down because we haven't done a complete circle in this area to see if any land tracks are coming out of one of the blocks. We're still searching for the Birmingham breakaway to see if we can have any luck on finding these lands this morning. If we don't see them anyway, we're gonna look this afternoon. And it's good though, we've driven almost every single road to the west. And then if we happen to look there by that beautiful tree, there's a tawny eagle that's sitting there, and there's big nest that looks like belongs to an eagle there. I see one head that's sticking out. Just gonna look carefully there. It looks like there's a babe that's in the nest. Very long, big. Looks like a grey heron. That nest, I don't think they made it, they built it. Possibly belongs to... Yeah, we're just gonna carry on down here and see if we can pick up any fresh signs. So let's go over to Ellie Djuma.
Success! Here is the young Mareebs finally after all that driving around, and actually we managed to survive the signal, so that's great stuff. Lara, sorry, I didn't answer your question all that well earlier. I was a little bit worried looking through all the different directions where this cat could have been. But we rely on other guides in identifying the animals correctly, and that's how we know what animal is where. Also, because leopards and lions are territorial creatures, certain animals tend to be in just certain areas. So we know that Thandi used to be on Djuma a lot, but now she seems to have moved and she's hanging out on Chitwa and Torchwood, which is where she used to be before Karula disappeared, and then she moved on to Djuma. So because leopards also have a unique spot pattern, we're able to identify individuals. Sometimes you have to look at the spots on top of the whiskers. They have different combinations. Maybe they'll have 2 or 3 spots on the right-hand side and then 4 on the left-hand side, but the combinations tend to be quite unique. So just by looking at that, you are able to determine which individual. And if you can't really tell the spots above the whiskers, then you can also look at the side pattern. And then just out of habit of seeing a certain animal quite a few times, it's almost like you're looking at a person. You are able to recognize the facial features, and who that animal is straight away, almost like recognizing an old friend. If you don't see them for a while, then sometimes it fades away. And there is, or at least I find, there is a similarity between members of the same family. If you look at Lalamba or Thandi or Tamba, you'll kind of know that there's something there, and you can confuse them amongst one another because they look fairly similar. In this case, well, also we had no reason to distrust that it would be Mareebs because the update came from Tristan. And I would trust that man for any leopard ID. He really does like spending time with them, and he's got a very good photographic memory. So when he reported that Mareebs was around here, well, very good chances that it was indeed Mareebs. Seems like he's actually not too far from the eastern side of Chitwa. He's not where he was hanging out in Torchwood. They've moved further east. And it seems like they were tracks for Thandi, maybe just on the Cheetah Plains driveway, eastern side of Chitwa. So it could be that she's just dropped him off here. They seem to be spending an awful lot of time together lately. I think maybe after he spider bite, she realized that he's not ready to be an independent cat. She's just like, no, you still need some training. But she's gone down onto that area, or at least the tracks are in that area, and would explain why he's here and not a Torchwood Dam actually Leadwood Dam where he's been hanging around for the last while. He's chosen a beautiful termite mound, and now it's not the best in terms of view, but it's very good. If he does get up, then we'll have a nice view of him up there. You see, he's quite camouflaged, so it's not easy to see him from any road, and he's hidden, safely tucked in there from any potential predators that might come around. Maybe a male, well, in terms of predators, he would have to worry about a male leopard or a pride of lions, or any lions for that matter. But I think for now he's all well. Potentially just waiting for his mother to make a kill and then take advantage of that fact. I do love his ears though. I find he's easy to identify because he's got the hairiest ears I've ever seen on a leopard before. Oh, yawning. Well done. Now, whenever they start grooming or yawning, then we've got more of a chance of seeing them get active. Normally that tends to indicate that they're going to be doing something, or that they're going to shift positions. So I would really like it if he went onto the rocks we were seeing earlier. I think that's why I missed that car, because I was just looking at the rocks wishfully thinking that he was going to be on there. He's not far from there though. I have no idea if we would get signal there, but a girl can dream. Maybe he's got a few ticks that are bothering him there. He seems to be grooming and sort of bite scratching his front legs. I can't really tell from here, but that's what it looks like he's cleaning. Oh, look at that sleepy face. Almost looks like he's doing it half asleep. Certainly has something there that's irritating him, by the looks of it.
I'm getting mobile after initiation.
The Masai Mara in Kenya is an iconic wilderness filled with life. Its inspirational beauty has captivated our hearts on WildEarth for many years. While this season of the world's greatest migration has been missed, WildEarth is preparing a spectacular comeback in 2022. For the first time ever, WildEarth will be running expeditions to Kenya's Masai Mara throughout the 2022 migration season. Hosted by David Githu and Isaac Rotich, you could be a part of the team that shares the Wildebeest migration with the world, live on WildEarth's daily safaris. If you're interested, then head over to our website to find out more.
I think sometimes you need just to listen. So it's a kind of taking out all that other spirit and bring back wilderness and healthy. Bushwalk and trek and sign. I'm sure I'm good at that. I spend most of my time on the ground since I was a young boy, so I think I'm good with that. Actually, I'm not much nervous of any category. Just take it as it is. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on what the judges are looking at. So chances are 50-50 on my side. I'm not... Obviously, when you go for a competition, you say you win.
I've seen something I've never seen here before. Look at these cubs. One is crossing the river. It's being washed away, unfortunately, but I'm sure the mother is going to save her. Look at that. How beautiful. Look at that. One crossing, two to go.
Well, grooming session is well underway. Don't know if this is his first grooming session of the day. Looks like it by how active he's been doing this, and I think he's just busy cleaning his coat. It's hard to tell from this position, but I think he's just cleaning his stomach or, his belly or the underside of his belly. It almost looks like that from the angle that he's in. Otherwise, he's lying in a very strange position. But as most of the animals walk through the bushes, they tend to pick up a lot of ticks, perhaps even grass, little things that attach to themselves, and then they become irritating as they carry on moving. So in the case of a leopard, and as we saw dark mane yesterday, their tongues are very rough, and they have this little cells, this papillae, that act as a comb. So when they start licking themselves, they actually capture it in between the grooves of all of these little cells in their tongue. And then they get rid of them on their skin like that, or on their coats. So I think that's exactly what he's doing now. He's getting rid of everything that's annoying him. Perhaps, as I said, ticks, little fleas maybe, grasses. It seems like that spot there, it's quite itchy. And the tongue of a cat is very rough. So if you have a domestic cat or a dog, perhaps don't know if you have both of them, but if you touch the tongue of a dog, it's not as rough as the one of a cat. And a cat is very, almost like sandpaper. It's similar in the way for leopards and lions. They have a very rough tongue, because not only are they going to use it to clean themselves, but often when they make a kill, then it's the roughness of that tongue that helps them remove the meat from the actual bone. Although I think he's being a very funny cat now. Could never imagine him doing something that wasn't sweet at this stage. Jackie, not all leopards have the same eye colors. In general, when they're little, leopards have very deep blue eyes, and they tend to get darker as they grow and as they become older. However, some leopards I find, like Lalamba, they have lighter colored eyes, and some of them have got very sort of bright orange eyes, and then some of them have got brown eyes. So they don't all have the same eye colors. There's variations between them that depend on genetics as well. There was a male leopard that was indeed called Lamula, which means orange because he had bright orange eyes. I find Lalamba's eyes are some of the prettiest. She's got very pretty eyes. Grooming session done. Gone back to sleep. Or so it seems. While we continue looking at Mareebs and spending time with him, let's have a look at our upcoming fire chat this Sunday.
While the African bush is desperate for rain, spring is certainly in the air. Fresh green leaves are sprouting, flowers are adding color to the landscape, and many animals are preparing for the birth of their young. At the moment, large concentrations of wildlife can be found at waterholes, which are the lifeline for the animals. But soon the rains will arrive, and the bush will transform overnight. Seasonal rivers will start to flow, the bush will be filled with baby animals, and it will become a time of plenty. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer and join Ali and Jonty for a special Spring Has Sprung fireside chat on the 12th of September, straight after the Sunset Safari. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
We're just witnessing some magic with Daz Mental, staying on this battalier as it flies above twin dams. The man is dominating. So yeah, we'd been following tracks of a male lion that led us here, but I don't know, they seem to have disappeared. So we're just working the area slowly, but enjoying a bit of time at the water's edge here. And this battalier literally pulled in just before we went live. Looks like a juvenile. I wonder if it is the one and only Batilda that Lauren named. Sorry, Darren, I'm going to climb onto the car here. So it's great for, especially like Darren, who's busy getting into birding. You can see when the battalier turns how short its tail is. And that sort of sawing from side to side as it's flying. It's very characteristic. So one of the easier eagles to identify, especially by flying. This is tough. I haven't heard Darren breathe since he started following it. He's concentrating so hard on the camera. I must say also, I'm quite excited about the fireside chat coming up tomorrow. It's my first one. It'll be very cool to see how that plays out. So please join in if you want to see me sitting, looking very awkward in front of the camera. We did check south of the dam for tracks, so the line doesn't look like it's crossed over the Gowrie boundary into Little Gowrie. So from here I'm just going to check if it maybe didn't go a bit further west. I might go drive in the Umlawati. Yeah, okay, now it's like a speck. Yo, look how cool that is. We're going to just keep watching this bateleur fly out of South Africa, it seems.
Yeah, look here, we just found a small head of Wildebeest, of which for me it's always nice to see them like this, because normally we see one bull on his own, maybe together with other species like Impala, zebra for safety. Reason for that is just because we don't have migration on the southern part of Africa, so these animals, the bulls, become more territorial and sort of like hang around with other species for safety, and maybe more or less in that same area as he is territorial, so hoping that one day the females will join him for a couple of days and they keep moving around. So the bull must be somewhere in this area, so he must be happy to have a company today. As you can see, there's no impalas or zebra in the area where they are, so he is very vulnerable when he's by himself. So with other species, that's more of a safety for him, because there's more eyes, more ears. Like when they see a predator first, whoever see the predator first, he will just give a warning call to the other. So that's the reason mostly when he is alone, he'll try go and join up with some impalas if they happen to be in the area. But yeah, let's see if we can see him around, unless he's one of those that's been taken by lions one of the days. But definitely every now and then drive past here along this road, you'll happen to find a single bull wildebeest, of which he's the main bull in this area. So these females are just
Okay, so we just checked again carefully, and it seems like the tracks of that male lion do in fact cross over where we cannot go, so that's fine, they can have him. We had him roaring beautifully yesterday. But now I would like to go and check Treehouse Dam, see what's happening. Just want to see what is that. Nothing. There's a herd of Impala at the torchwood tree. Hello. Oh, there's this one here. Darren, can you just, it's going to freak out because I just pointed at it. But I was talking the other day about the size of the Impala that I saw python catch. This is the exact size. Sorry, I know it's a bit random, but I was been trying to find one that was the same size, and it was that sort of size. Can you believe that a python swallowed that whole thing? Ridiculous. I've been trying to get Darren to tell us a story, but he said he's definitely not going to come in front of the camera and chat to us. Which is a pity. It's a good story. Hello, Impala. Yes, they are so pretty. See you guys later. So let's go check Treehouse Dam. I can't believe it. I was saying to the guys yesterday that Marips is 100% fine, that young male leopard that Ali's with. It's amazing that he just took that puff adder bite a few weeks ago and just sort of carried on. I can't even imagine what would happen to one of us if we got bitten by a puff adder and didn't seek medical treatment instantly. Shows you how sort of resilient these animals are. Maybe that leopard is part honey badger.
Maybe they don't have a... I haven't plugged in, so I don't know. What happened? You wanna go eat that birdie? sorry about the technical loop, everyone. It seems like the gremlins had us all under attack, but our tech team has managed to fight all of them off. And Mareeb's not too worried. He knew that the tech team had it, so he's just gone back down to sleep. It actually looks very cozy where he is. He's on top of a termite mound, and he's surrounded by all the grass, so it's probably very warm in there. I mean, I'm actually even a little bit jealous. Seems to be having a great snooze. Look at that. I mean, if you weren't to see him go up the termite mound, or if we didn't know that he was here because somebody waited and showed us that he was here, I mean, it would have been very difficult to actually see him. There are no roads where he is. There is a road nearby, but not right in front of the termite mound. And he's also well hidden behind this gardenia. Almost reminds me of the sighting we had with Tortoise Pan the other day, where he also chose a termite mound that was guarded from the road by a tree. So there's a trend in what male leopards like doing, apparently. Sleepy cat. I wonder if he's going to decide to stay here the whole day. The weather is funny enough that perhaps he'll decide to walk a little bit later on. Or it would be moody enough that it'll get cold and he'll just tuck himself further into the termite mound and carry on sleeping. He would definitely move though if Tandy were to start calling him, or if she came around, or if it all of a sudden got very hot, then he might go for water. But I don't think it's going to be a sunny day today. It seems like it's going to be quite a cloudy and overcast day. And although he's sleeping, his ears are often coming and going. He's picking up all the noises of everything around him, and although very much asleep, he's also still alert and aware of his surroundings.
I have a degree in environmental planning and development. My passion is outdoor classrooms. We are not only grooming the environmentalists of tomorrow, but tomorrow's leaders as well. My long-term goal is for the people of South Africa to learn how to live sustainably, to be able to look after themselves and the environment. So I hope that through environmental education, we are able to get that message to the future generation of South Africa so that they start now and can continue that good practice in the future. Environmental education is critical so that people can live sustainably in the future. That is my long-term goal.
And I turned to Shaw and I saw that she had this panicked look on her face. Either she was afraid that something had happened, or she was afraid that she was going to miss out on something. But instead of her missing out on those lions, we drove up next to them and I switched off the car so that she could hear what was going on. Now, these lions had killed a kudu, and she could hear these two cubs, both 8 months old at the time, busy pushing and shoving each other out the way to get to the best parts of the meat. And the mom was lying just to the side in the shade. Now, I'd known that before losing her sight, Sean probably knew what a lion looked like. But I really wanted her to know what this lion looked like. So for the first time in my guiding career, I started to describe to someone what a lion looked like. And I found that, I started to notice things in that lion that I'd never seen before.
You are cheeky. That was a brave decision. Amber Eyes is... That is so magic. That was absolutely wonderful. Amber Eyes just gave that cub an enormous hug.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth Daily.
Hello everybody, so we've come to check Treehouse Dam and we've just spotted there's quite a large colony of dwarf mongoose that are all busy sunning themselves. I'm just going to park so we can have a look at them. Quite very cute little guys. Matsiki talk. Look at that. Yeah, I can't even count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I can hear another vehicle also driving around. They might not join us for this dwarf mongoose sighting. But so the sun has just started like breaking through. I've also just taken my jacket off. And so that's how these mongoose come out of their little home there. And they're busy sunning themselves, doing a bit of grooming themselves, grooming each other. And then they'll head off and start feeding for the day.
Leaving the log of Safari.
They've got such little beady eyes. Quite sharp. Always on the lookout for little predators. One will give a sort of alarm call. And then they'll all go darting back into the holes. Amazing, a very proficient little predator. Seeing termites, grasshoppers, spiders, scorpions, small lizards, snakes, small birds sometimes, and even small rodents. Quite a nice way to finish off the drive. But thank you very much for joining us at our various locations this morning. We've loved having you with us, and please join us again this afternoon where we'll be waiting to do it all again. And remember, the Springboks are playing rugby today, so do yourselves a favour and go watch them play. They're either going to put a big smile on my face this afternoon, or I'm going to have a frown. So let's hope it's a smile. But thanks again, everybody. Have an awesome Saturday.